Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Neal, and I'm currently enrolled in Advanced Qualitative Research Methodology and Design with Dr. Lori Bedford. I'm also in my second year of the doctoral studies at North Central University. I'm going to talk today about qualitative research, specifically more on reflexivity, the importance of that for the researcher to practice, as well as a researcher as instrument and its importance with some suggestions. According to Dr. Bedford, and beginning with the definition of qualitative research, it involves the collection, analysis, and interpretation of narrative and visual data to gain insight into a particular phenomenon of interest. So basically, qualitative research is a study of complex social phenomena with a more holistic lens, quite the opposite of quantitative research. The researcher collects and analyzes rich data found in real context and captured only through an interactive process between the qualitative researcher and the participants. It's relational, it's subjective, and the role of the researcher cannot be underestimated, as they must practice three core strategies of positionality, reflexivity, and the researcher as instrument. So let's take a look at reflexivity and what does this mean and how does it affect the role and responsibilities of the qualitative researcher. Well, first of all, reflexivity, it is of paramount importance in qualitative research. I'd like to begin with that. And it basically means that the researcher identifies and understands their involvement of the past that they bring, their values, and how that will impact their study and the effects of their findings for the reader. The reflexivity is a researcher's conscious and deliberate effort to be aware of their own reactions to their participants and to be aware of the way they record their findings as they are constructed. More simply said, reflexivity is self-knowledge and sensitivity, and awareness of oneself. To be reflexive, the positions a researcher specifically should be aware of that they carry, being a human being, their gender, their age, immigration status, sexual orientation, personal, political, and ideological stances, biases, preferences, theoretical experiences, linguistic traditions, emotional responses to their participants. All of these are of equal importance for the qualitative research to understand reflexivity and the impact that they have, this acknowledgement that they themselves, being human, have values that they bring to the study. So as we look a little closer now into what it means for researcher as instrument, the researcher who understands and practices reflexivity also understands their role as an instrument of the study. The qualitative researcher is the key instrument in gathering qualitative data, so they have a great deal of responsibility, and they must understand this. It has the positive effect of enabling the researcher to utilize context and the participant-research relationship to discover meaning. So having said that, some suggestions to the qualitative researcher is to really look closely at your research design. And looking at that, how will you conduct your interviews? And you are this active participant or active research with your participants with these interviews. How are you going to be thinking about your biases? And how are you going to be understanding the effect that you play with your data collection? Your goal is to collect rich and meaningful information. How are you going to be understanding your role as a researcher, that you are an instrument in this process? It needs a lot of thought, to think deeply, and your trustworthiness and your credibility in your study is going to require this transparency of oneself, this understanding of the reflexivity. But your researcher as instrument, truly this tool that you bring in choosing your design, is essential to make sure that you have the best method of getting the best and the richest information from your participants and knowing the part that you play in this process. So thank you and have a good day.